Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm here with my boy John.
What's up, guys?
We're doing the John and Holzer Roundtable Sports Radio podcast, episode 3. Saturdays, we're doing our locks of the week, our pick'ems, our sit-ems, and our upset. John, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, Holzer. How's your Halloween going?
It's good, dude. Happy Halloween. John,
Happy Halloween, everybody. It's
happy
Halloween.
happy Halloween, bro. I got my lightsaber right here.
I got my little costume, R2D2, you know,
Star Wars is OG,
Star
man.
Wars out here, you know what I'm saying, guys?
I'm gonna throw that lightsaber over there now. All right, John, what do you think about last Thursday night's game?
There's a night's game. You talking about the Atlanta game?
I am.
Um, I'm disappointed. I wanted the Panthers to win.
We both
Uh,
predicted the Panthers to win.
yeah, I wanted Rob. I thought Robbie Anderson and Teddy Bridgewater were going to play well against that
Mhm.
Falcons defense. But Teddy kind of choked at the end and threw that pick, and the Falcons sealed the game. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. You can't. It's hard to get those games right because they're not necessarily the easiest games to predict because it could go either way. Because the Panthers could not get the ball going on the ground. Mike Davis screwed me again on fantasy. It's not great. If I lose this week, it's on him again.
Mm-hmm. And CMC is coming back too. So
Yeah, he's out of my lineup after this week. I'm dropping him. I don't even care.
right.
He's lost me 2 weeks in a row. I'm tired of it. All right, John. I'm gonna ask you right now. What is your first pick of the week?
So Holzer, my first pick of the week. I have the Green Bay Packers over the Minnesota Vikings.
That's a good pick.
Yeah. I mean, we all see Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, what he's doing. He's still elite at 36 years old. He's
Yeah.
still in the MVP conversation behind Russ, and I think he will be the runner-up this year. I think Russ will take home the MVP, like we discussed earlier in one of the podcast episodes before. But I think Aaron Jones, despite missing 2 games with a calf injury, is
Is
still.
he playing this week?
I believe he is. Yes.
No, I'm gonna double check that because I thought he wasn't playing.
I mean, he might not be, but I thought he was. I might be wrong on that. But if Aaron Jones is playing,
He's out. Aaron Jones is ruled out.
he is out.
Mhm.
All right.
Tough.
That is tough. That will make it harder for the harder for the Packers, but I still have the Packers over the
Yeah,
Vikings.
it still should be an easier win.
Jamal Williams he's not a bad running
He's
back.
good. He's good.
Devontae Adams is coming off a
Oh,
196-yard, 2-touchdown game, and I
dirty.
think he will torch the Vikings defense.
Oh
That's
yeah.
And I have Aaron Rodgers throwing for 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I have Devontae Adams catching both of those touchdowns, seven
Yeah.
receptions for 101 receiving yards. So I have the Green Bay Packers over the Minnesota Vikings 31-20.
It's a very good pick, John. I was thinking about it, but no, no. My first pick. This should come as no surprise. Is lock it in. Steelers over Ravens, John.
Of course,
Steelers
guys,
over Ravens.
bias Steelers fan.
No bias. I believe this is a win. Steelers front seven is going to eat all game long. We're going to hold Lamar to under 50 yards rushing, which is honestly a pretty good accomplishment because he's running this not necessarily this year, but last year he was running all over every team.
Right.
He couldn't do it last year, dude. If the Steelers had Big Ben last year in their week like 5 or 6 matchup, they would have won. Lamar had 3 picks and it took him to overtime with the Duck Hodges led team to lose in overtime because Mason Rudolph got knocked out by Earl Thomas.
But
But this
go
is
ahead.
this offense. I'm gonna chew up clock. Big Ben's not gonna make any big mistakes this week. Juju's gonna have a touchdown. James Conner is gonna have a touchdown. I think maybe Benny Snell is gonna get one or a backup running back or something. Connor, we're gonna get 2 on the ground. And my score prediction is 24-17.
You don't think that Ravens defense will be able to hold the Steelers offense?
No, they'll hold them 24 points.
Okay.
Steelers are averaging over 30 this year, so
Okay. We'll see. We'll see Sunday.
and it's not on TV, so I'm kind of mad about that.
Really, it's
They
not
have
on.
the Green Bay game on TV, and they have the Bills, bro. They have the Bills and the Patriots over the Steelers and Ravens, bro. How could you even do that?
That's prime time television right there. I mean, that you can't get any better than that. Steelers and Ravens. That's one of the classic rivalries in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You got to televise that. I
All
mean, it's
right,
televised obviously, but it doesn't look like it will be in
not in
the.
our area.
Yeah. All right.
John, after my rant, what do you think about your second lock of the week?
Well, this is kind of a give me. I mean, you should expect this. I have the Eagles over the Cowboys. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, for sure.
come on. You saw how the Cowboys played last week. Andy Dalton went down with a concussion. Ben DiNucci came in and
Danucci, he did. He had a dime. He had one dime.
he had a dime, and they're playing Washington. Come on, I
Yeah,
mean Washington doesn't have a bad defense, but despite having Zeke, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb, I don't think the Cowboys offense will get it done this week.
I
I
don't
think
see how they could.
the Eagles, they don't have a bad pass rush, and we saw. I mean, we saw the other Thursday against the Giants. The Eagles defense played well. They held the Giants to 21 points. Even though the Giants don't have a good offense, but I think the
21. I wouldn't say though holding them to 21 points because aren't they averaging like 12 points on the season?
right, but
So really, they overperformed.
I mean, they're depleted. They're a depleted team, and I think the Eagles have something to prove. They're the NFC. They're the clear favorites in the NFC least, and I believe despite having a depleted personnel, they'll go on headstrong in this game. They will really perform well against this awful Cowboys defense. And I mean, the Cowboys just don't have any chemistry. And it's just clear to see. They don't work well together. I don't think they.
Jalen Smith is on the block.
Jalen Smith is on the block, and he's leading the NFL in tackles. He's not playing bad, but I believe Carson Wentz will have a good game. I think he'll have over 300 passing yards. I think he'll have a touchdown or two, and I think Boston Scott will run all over this defense. I think he'll get a majority of the snaps since Miles Sanders is out. I think he'll have maybe 19, 20 rushes. I believe he'll rush for over 100 yards, and I think he'll have a touchdown on the
I
ground.
think he'll break out one long run, 20, 30 yards.
Right.
All right, John, that's a pretty good take. Honestly, I thought about it, but I thought I'm like John's gonna do this. He's the kind of guy that likes the NFC least. So
I don't know if I like them. I think I'm kind
hey,
of
you're still contenders right now, John.
we'll see.
All
Uh,
right. So for my next pick, John, I decided to take Saints over Bears.
really?
This is a pretty controversial topic, but honestly, what do the Bears have on offense? Like Nick Foles was missing throws last week that should have been touchdowns. They have a great defense.
Mhm.
Yes, Khalil Mack is going to cause havoc all game long, but what do they have on offense? They have the offensive pieces.
Allen
Piece. They have the piece on offense. They have Allen Robinson. And I have a final score of 23-10. What is your take on that?
Um, 20 Saints 23-10. Um, I'd say I'd have to agree with you. I think it would be a closer game than that. Uh, I just feel like Drew Brees, he's getting up at there in age. He's a little inconsistent. He's still not a terrible quarterback, but Alvin Kamara is really taking the workload on that offense. Um, I think Kamara will have a good game. I do think the Saints will win. I think you're right about that, but I think it'll be a close game.
What are you thinking? Less for the Saints or more for the Bears?
Mm, I'd say it's a little more for the Bears. I'm gonna say, I mean, the Saints defense isn't great. I mean, they're okay.
Terrible.
Uh, I don't know, 17-10 maybe, 17-14. I don't know.
I don't even think the Bears could score 14 points.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't play great against the Rams.
They should have beat the Rams. Honestly, they could have.
Yeah,
His two big time touchdowns.
right. I mean, the defense didn't play bad.
Defense played good enough to keep them into that ball game, though.
They're on the field too much. I mean, the
I agree.
offense, they weren't on the field that long. Time of possession was low, so yeah.
All right, John. What do you have for your last pick of the week?
So, for my final pick of the week, I have the Los Angeles Rams over the Miami Dolphins. I have this game, the Rams 24-14 over the Dolphins. The Rams have a formidable defense. Jalen Ramsey has been playing he's been playing pretty well this year. Aaron Donald has been playing very well this year, I think.
More than very well. He's been an absolute monster.
Right. And I actually predict Aaron Donald to have 2 to 3 sacks this game
It's very possible.
against Tua in his first start, and like I said, it's his first start. I think Tua's gonna struggle. He hasn't played in almost a full year.
I mean, he
That's
played last week, but I mean, that doesn't really
I mean,
count.
he played the other week, but he hasn't started in almost a full year. I
Right.
mean,
You're right.
got that hip injury, and I mean, I think Tua won't be too bad in the NFL, but only time will tell. And I don't know. I mean, the Dolphins aren't bad, but he's gonna have growing pains. He's gonna struggle against this Rams defense. I think they're gonna have to depend on the run a lot more. Um, yeah, I think Jared Goff is gonna have a good game. I think he's gonna throw for over 250 yards, and I think we'll have 2 touchdowns in this contest.
All right, John, I agree with you, but for my keys for the Dolphins to win, because I think they could win if Tua goes out and proves, they got to protect Tua, keep him protected, keep Aaron Donald off him. That's my first key. Second key, run the football. If they run the football and get the play action moving, get Tua rolling out, they could hit big plays. Because Jalen Ramsey likes to bite on those play actions and those interceptions. He likes to go for the big play. And you saw it last week. He got screwed over a few times last week against the Bears, but Nick Foles couldn't make him pay. So, what do you think about those few keys to victory?
Uh, um, I mean, I
I
don't
think
know.
the Rams are going to win, though. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know if I completely agree with you because Tua is a pocket quarterback. He's a little bit on the smaller side. He doesn't like to run out of the pocket a ton, so I think
He
it'll
can
kind of
move. He can bounce.
move. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's just gonna stay in the pocket a lot. I think I mean unless really that Rams pass rush gets to him, but I think Aaron Donald will have a feast, a Thanksgiving feast tomorrow. Um, and Jalen Ramsey, I mean, he's gonna be covering God, I'm having a brain fart. Um,
Devontae Parker.
yeah, Devontae, he's gonna be covering Devontae Parker, but I don't know. I think
Man, he probably will, but if they just play
yeah,
zone, he'll probably just stay at the top.
Jalen Ramsey will be able to get it done. I don't think Devontae Parker will have a big game, and I
No.
think, like you said, they'll have to rely on the run. I think that is their only key to success, honestly, on offense.
I think the play action's pretty big this week
Mm,
because that Rams defense does like to bite, and if they can get time on play action, they can hit them over the top.
right, right. So, what about your third pick?
Well, my third pick is I don't know if it's a given because they're coming off a loss last week, but I have the Seahawks over the Niners. Hard game because the Seahawks have such a terrible defense. They can't get a stop. But then you have the Niners who also kind of struggle on offense, but didn't last week. They ran all over the
Mm,
Patriots. So I don't know what to think. I'm thinking that the Seahawks are going to outscore the Niners and score 27-21. What do you think about that?
27-21. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I want to get your opinion on the acquisition of Carlos Dunlap by the Seahawks.
Eh, he's he's good. He'll get probably 4 sacks. He not this week. No, not just this week. Over the course of the season, it seems
Right.
like a kind of desperation move to get him healthy. But the second Dunlap comes back, he gets into the flow. Jamal Adams comes back. This defense will be a little bit better. They'll move up four or five spots in the NFL statistically when those players come back and start balling. Carlos Dunlap seems kind of a desperate move to me, but it's a good signing because he can get some pressure and they really need that right now.
Do you think the Seahawks regret not signing Clowney back?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Not even close. Of course they do.
He hasn't been really working that well on the Titans though.
Yeah,
Mm,
well, I don't know if does he fit that scheme as well or
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I
I
don't
don't
know.
watch enough Titans games. I only watched last week.
But
Well, I've watched a few, but I haven't noticed him. He hasn't jumped off my onto my screen.
right.
He hasn't told me like, "Oh, I'm doing really well." Like,
You think how do you think Russ is going to play against that 49ers
"Oh,
defense?
he's going to eat all game."
You
For
think
sure.
so,
He's going to
really?
have a huge bounce back. He's going to have 3 touchdowns.
Okay. All right. We'll
Big
see.
week. Big
Niners
week.
defense isn't that bad, even though that they're kind of depleted. But I agree with you. I think it'll be a close game, and I think the Seahawks will come out on top.
Yep.
So, Jose, I want to know what your upset of the week is.
John, my upset of the week. I don't know if you can even consider this an upset. I do. I just have this weird feeling this week that Matt Stafford is gonna ball again. I have Lions over Colts for my
Really?
upset of the week. Yep.
That's who I have too.
There we go. Lions over Colts.
I think Stafford is gonna. I mean, the Colts have a good defense, but I think Stafford can have another good game. You saw what he did in Atlanta last week. He's
I I honestly, John, this game was my first bet, but then I saw Miami Rams. I was thinking about picking that as my upset of the week because two is
right.
starting, but I ended up going Lions Colts.
And I mean, Stafford's got weapons around him, man. TJ Hawkinson hasn't been playing that bad. He has 4 touchdowns this
Today,
year. That's not bad, yeah. And
Holiday's a monster.
Holiday's posting up 16.9 yards per catch. And
Very good.
I looked this up and this really surprised me. Danny Amendola is averaging 18 yards per catch. That's actually really good.
It's
That's
actually good, like
that's not
very
bad.
good.
And I mean, old Philip Rivers, he's inconsistent. He's getting up there in age.
I think they'll run the ball very well.
Jonathan Taylor, I think, will have a good game though.
I don't think Philip Rivers. I think Philip Rivers is going to guarantee a pick. I think Jeff Okuda is going to get a pick this week.
Okay, all right. The rookie's gonna get a pick. Holder things. Okay.
I'm predicting a pick from. He better not let me. He's watching right now. No, the Lions are 2.5 point underdogs this week going up against the Colts. By the way,
I'm praying to God that DeAndre Swift has a good game. I had to put him at my flex and fantasy this week because Miles Sanders
two
is.
weeks in a row he's had a decent weeks for you though. So
We'll see. I mean,
Colts have
Colts.
a strong defense. This is a hard week for him. Hard matchup. They might go to another guy who wants to bang the like down low like AP. They might
Yeah.
give AP more touches.
Is on Johnson playing at all, or
Yeah, he's playing.
he might get a few touches too? Only, I guess we'll see tomorrow. I'm hoping that Swift has a good game, but I doubt that he will. I was forced to start him, but
Same
it
with
is
Mike Davis. I didn't want to start him, but I had no one else.
right,
All right,
right.
John. Those are some good locks of the week, good upsets. I know how we both agreed on the Lions, but I have one question for you.
What's that?
Who is your fantasy must start this week? Number one.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, I think Boston Scott is gonna have a really good game against the Cowboys
Hmm?
defense. The Cowboys are allowing more than 200 rushing yards per game, and I think that's. I mean, their defense is allowing like some of the highest among defenses, like in terms of rushing yards per game. So I mean that's kind of a gimme. I feel like if you have Boston Scott,
Start him.
pick him up off the waivers, start him. He's gonna have a good game. I think. I think he's gonna, like I said, I think he's gonna rush for over 178 yards.
178.
Oh Jesus! I mean over 100 yards. I'm sorry.
Oh my God! I was like, Johnny's gonna have a 200 a bomb almost.
It's late, guys. It's 10:30. I've had a long day. I'm sorry. I'm tired. But um, I just really I think Boston Scott is gonna have a great game.
Oh,
And he's versatile. He's dynamic. He can catch the ball. You saw that clutch
oh.
receiver touchdown that he had against the Giants. So I think that he'll have a good game.
All right, John. Just for I agree with you, but we just got the news that earlier that the Chargers Broncos game is on. Giants Bucks game are on, even though they both had COVID cases, so they're good to
Yeah.
play.
Okay.
So I agree 100%. Boston Scott's gonna have a huge week. But for my pick, John, it's not a surprise. Travis Fulgham.
Travis Fulgham. Okay.
I
Go.
think that the Cowboys are terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. 7 catches on 8 targets for 102 and a touchdown. He's gonna feast all game long. Boston Scott, Travis Fulgham, Wentz, great picks this week.
Was that Fulgham's stat line versus the Giants?
No, I'm saying that's what he's gonna have this week.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna
All
have
right.
7 for 102 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I can see that. Is Alshon Jeffrey playing this week?
I'm not sure.
Hmm. Because I mean, I think Fulgham will have a good week, but I mean, it's Jeffrey's playing too. If he's back from injury, I think he could have a good. I don't know. I'd have to go with you. I think Fulgham will have a good game actually. I think he'll be Wentz's premier target this week.
Sure. Zach
Yeah.
Ertz is out.
Right.
They seem to click pretty well.
Right.
All right, John. Who do you have for your second must start?
So I mean, this might be a little ballsy on my side, but I think that you guys should start Kareem Hunt because it's the Browns' last game before the bye, and I think this is really Kareem Hunt's last game as the premier back in the backfield for the Browns.
He might get one more after the bye. We'll see what they want to do in next show. But I agree 100% with you.
Yeah, maybe one more game if they really want to play it safe with Chubb, if they don't want to risk re-injuring him. But like I said, it's his last game as a premier. It's possibly his last game as a premier back. The Raiders actually allow the second most fantasy points to running backs, their defense. So I mean, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that Hunt will have a good game, but he's playing well this year. The Raiders allow 123 yards on the ground per game, and Hunt's actually playing pretty well. I think he's a top 10 back right now.
Mhm.
He's just not. He's really not playing that bad. He has. I think he's averaging around 70 yards per game, which isn't bad. He doesn't get in the end zone too much, but he's a hard runner. And like I said, against this Raiders defense, I think he could have a big game.
He does get a lot of catches too, so that's very good for your PPR leagues.
Yeah, he's dynamic. Yeah.
I agree 100%. So, John, for my second pick, this is not a surprise. Come on, Carson Wentz. Guaranteed must start.
I agree
The
with you.
Cowboys are giving up 524 total yards of offense per game.
Seriously.
524.
Wow. Are you capping?
That's no cap.
Wow.
524 yards of offense.
That dude, that has to be historically bad. That
They're the worst defense. They're on pace to give up the most points in NFL history, I'm pretty sure.
wow, that's sad. It's
I'm gonna,
sad to be a Cowboys fan, I
I'm
bet.
gonna, I'm gonna pull up the Eagles stats and see what they give up per game.
500. Oh my god. That's I mean, guys, that stat alone is just an omen for the Cowboys season. Who knows? I mean, maybe the Cowboys could even do worse than the Jets. I mean, I'm praying that they do, but I don't want them to get Trevor. Uh,
I don't want his career to be
I'd rather Trevor go to the Jets than the Cowboys. You saw Trevor got he got
COVID. And they
yeah.
almost lost.
Who'd Clemson play again?
Boston College. They almost lost.
Oh,
They were
wow.
up the most of the game.
That just goes to show guys how good Trevor is. Generational talent, in my opinion.
Typo, John. They give up 443 yards per game.
That's
Still a lot.
that's
Typo on my part. Typo on my part.
still really bad.
My bad. Typo, but still 440 yards per game. Carson Wentz is going to eat this week, guaranteeing.
You saw what
Let's
Terry McLaurin did against Trayvon Diggs last week. I mean, Terry McLaurin got in the end zone once. He had like 90.
yard touchdown.
He did pretty good in fantasy, and we were saying, Cowboys are terrible on defense and fantasy. So I agree with you with Wentz.
My stats for him though, John, are 340 through the air,
Okay.
3 TDs passing, and he will add 1 on the ground for 4 total touchdowns.
All right. I like it, Holes. I like the prediction. I agree with you.
All right, John. Who is your third must start?
So honestly, this could go either way. I feel like you could start Clyde Edwards-Helaire because he's been pretty consistent in fantasy this year. He hasn't been playing bad.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Jets. The
Yep.
New York Jets. And I feel like you could even start Le'Veon because Le'Veon he had like 7 or 8 rushes for like 39, 40 yards last week. I mean, I
Might be motivated to play against the Jets, and they might give him a few more carries.
exactly that's what I was gonna say. I think Le'Veon, it's kind of I wouldn't say a revenge game, but I feel like he just has something to prove against Gase and the Jets, so that's gonna motivate him. And I mean, I don't really have to say much. The Jets are terrible on defense, although they kind of held the Bills to 18 points last week, which
I don't know why they just turned up like that. I don't know.
yeah, they
The
didn't play
Bills
that.
are kind of slumping a little bit.
Yeah, the Bills aren't looking like a contender like everyone thought they were at the
If
beginning.
they lose to New England this week, John, we're definitely gonna have a discussion next week
Right, right.
about what we think about the Bills and the prediction for the Bills.
Well, I think I think Clyde is going to get the majority of the snaps.
Hmm.
I still think Le'Veon's going to get a good percentage of the snaps. Uh, I think,
We'll play him in the slot this week a lot. I think.
yeah, definitely. They're going to be. I think Mahomes will be throwing the ball to Le'Veon. He might even be throwing the ball to Clyde. And I think really both backs will get maybe 10 at least 10 rushes each, and I think Clyde could even have a 100-yard rushing game. I think Le'Veon could have like a 50-yard rushing game and maybe even get 45 receiving yards. Who knows? But
Possible.
I think you could really start either one.
I don't think Le'Veon will get 10 rushes, but he might get like 5 catches, four
Yeah,
catches, like that
yeah,
area.
10 touches at least.
He'll
I
get
got
10 touches. I can guarantee 10 touches. I don't think he'll get just 10 rushes.
yeah, yeah. Any more thoughts on that?
I agree 100% with you. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a must start this week. And
Mhm.
so is I wouldn't say Le'Veon's a must start, but if you would need him to play him at your flex,
Yeah.
this could be a good week if you need someone. Like Casey had to start DeAndre Swift and I had to start Mike Davis.
I mean,
So
yeah, I wouldn't say Le'Veon's a must start, but you
no.
definitely could start him. I
A
really
deeper PPR league, he might be a very good. Like our
right.
team, we have a 14 team league and it's very competitive and John's in first place, he's lucky. But yeah. All right. So I agree 100%. And moving on to my last pick'em is Justin Herbert.
Okay. Okay.
I just think that he's a must start this week playing the Broncos. It was just a question mark if they're going to play or not.
Mm.
I think that he's going to have 312 through the air, 3 touchdowns. He also have a pick though. He will throw a pick this week.
You
And,
think it would,
yep, but he's going to add 30 yards on the ground.
but they are playing this week, right? You said,
They are guaranteed to play this week unless something happens tomorrow.
is it at Denver? I believe
Yes,
it is.
I think it is at Denver. I'm going to double check that right now. But I'm pretty sure it's at Denver.
You think Herbert will run one into the end zone this week?
He could. Honestly, he could. I see that he could.
Mm, right.
I don't think he will. I think that the Broncos have a pretty good rush defense, but they're gonna torch him in the air.
Okay. And you said Herbert's gonna throw for how many yards?
312,
Okay. All right.
three
Yeah.
touchdowns, 30
Yeah.
on the ground.
I can see that. I agree with you. Herbert's been playing well this year. He's been consistent, and like I've said before, I mean, him and Burrow are kind of battling out for offensive rookie of the year, but
I think
uh,
Burrow's is ahead, or I mean, I think
Herbert,
Herbert's ahead right
yeah.
now on this. But Burrow could have a few good weeks. Herbert could have a few bad weeks. We'll see. If teams start, Burrow's been starting since day one. Herbert, they didn't have as much film on him. They didn't have like time to scout him and stuff. So I think soon they're gonna start realizing what he's doing and to gash the defenses.
Burrow is playing the Titans defense this week.
They aren't very strong.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play bad, but
Yeah,
I don't think he'll have a great game. That's just me.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
All right, John. You know what our next segment is? Fantasy Situms. Who is your number one Situm?
Holzer, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to say Juju. Sit Juju.
The Juju.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with Big Ben coming back, I thought Juju was gonna have like another explosive season like he did not last year, but the season before when Ben was healthy. Um I don't know. I mean, we've seen Chase Claypool, we've seen Deontay Johnson. Um they're both playing well, even though Chase didn't have a good performance last week.
They play a different style offense now. They play like back when Juju and AB and Le'Veon were all there. Not really Le'Veon as much because he was gone that season.
Right.
Ben used to take lots of chances, throw it downfield. They were like passing a lot downfield. This year, they have a 10 times better defense than they had then. So
Mm.
now they just try to limit mistakes, keep the ball out of the other team's hand, run the football, get first downs, get the ball out of his hands quick, get touchdowns, and hopefully they win low scoring games. That's the way the Steelers want to play nowadays.
And I mean, I don't know if they'll have Peters or if they'll have Marlon Humphrey on Juju because I mean Juju is their number one receiver, obviously, but Claypool, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, they're all solid receivers.
Mhm.
That I mean, they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Steelers have a lot of depth at receiver. Um,
Tight end,
uh,
running back.
yeah, they have Eric Ebron. Eric Ebron hasn't been playing too bad this year. I don't think he's gotten in the end zone, but still, regardless,
No, he
he's
got a touchdown against week 3. I think he got a touchdown against someone.
but they, I mean, they have James Conner in the backfield. Benny Snow gets some snaps. I mean, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if Ben looks their way too in the receiving game or in the passing game, I should say. Um, and like I said, I think the Ravens have a good defense. I think they have a top five defense. It's gonna be hard nosed football this week between those two teams, and I think
Big time.
um, I don't know. Big Ben threw 3 picks last week. I was disappointed with his. I wasn't disappointed with his performance, but
People have been. I hate to cut you off, but people have been bad to him all week.
right,
But really, one I'm okay with. One was the shot down the middle to Juju, and if Juju has strong hands, he's coming away with that touchdown, seals the game. I'm okay with that pick. Second one was tipped at the line and intercepted by a D lineman. So
right,
I'm also okay with that because that's not going to happen every game.
right.
And the third one, Big Ben's going to make mistakes. But I think only one or two of them are his fault. The one to Juju wasn't necessarily all on him. It was a great throw, a great aggressive throw, and I'm okay with it.
I have one more problem with this. So the Ravens have allowed 3 receiving touchdowns this entire season, and that's the second fewest in the NFL right now. The Ravens have a good fantasy defense too. Uh, and Juju, he has fewer than 7 points in 2 out of his 3. Like in the last 3 games, I think he has fewer than 7 points fantasy wise in 2 out of those last 3 games. So I'm not saying Juju is inconsistent. The Steelers have a tough schedule. I mean,
Tough
it hasn't
game.
been too tough this in the beginning of the season, but it's getting progressively harder.
It's
Like,
pretty easy after this week.
but
And Dallas next week, John. Dallas next week.
it's just gonna be hard nosed football. I don't expect Steelers. I think Juju's gonna get a few balls thrown his way, but I just don't think he's gonna have a big week, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I
But
honestly agree with you. I think Deontay Johnson's the big playmaker on offense now. Chase Claypool, James Washington if they need a deep ball. But I think everyone on that team can make it play. I think Juju is the most reliable guy to go to if we need a first down.
I agree. I agree.
All right, John. My first sit-em is pretty simple this week is Cam Newton. He hasn't performed any good. Like he's performed terrible since he came back from COVID. I think he'll have a bounce back week this week, but still not startable worthy. So if you have any other quarterbacks, I would recommend starting him. I think Cam Newton he's gonna throw for 190 passing yards. He'll throw a touchdown and he'll rush for one, but he's gonna either fumble or throw a pick. He's gonna do one of the two.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Man, that's hard. Uh, I want to say start Cam because the Bills defense they've just like I've said before they've been underwhelming. Uh, I think I feel
I,
like Belichick's game plan is going to call for Cam to run on the ground a little bit more, but I just feel like he won't do too much through the air. Like maybe between 100 and 150 passing yards, I think he'll have.
I
But
said 190, and I thought I was being pretty nice.
uh, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. Yeah, it's hard to say, but Cam, he just I don't know. Ever since COVID, he just hasn't been playing that
He'll
well.
get back to his level for sure in a few weeks.
See, we'll see.
All right, who do you have for your second sit-em?
So my second sit-em, I have Drew Brees. He's averaging 19 fantasy points per game, per contest or week, I should really say, which isn't bad. But that's kind of like in the middle of the pack with fantasy quarterbacks. Uh, and they're playing an away game this week against the Bears. The Bears have a really good secondary. The Bears have a good defense in general, even though that they allowed what was it like 24 points against the Rams last week. But like you said, the Rams scored those touchdowns because two big plays. And the Bears defense, they're in the game that entire game. The Rams have a high powered offense. But
I agree. They'll run all over him, I think.
right. And the Bears have allowed the fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks this season.
Really?
Yeah, they have, and they've allowed just 6 touchdown passes this year, which actually I didn't think the Bears secondary was that good actually. And
Yeah, pretty good.
2 of those passing touchdowns were to Jared Goff last week too. So yeah, I just don't think you should start Drew Brees. The Saints aren't super great on the road. I think Kamara is going to get a lot of touches
I
this
think he'll
week.
get a lot of touches.
Yeah, and I mean even Latavius Murray, I think he'll get some touches on the ground,
For sure.
and Michael Thomas is still out. So yeah, I don't think you should start Drew Brees.
All right, John. I agree with that one. It's not bad. This one's not going to be a surprise, though. I said sit Tua. It's his first game. People are gonna want to jump on his bandwagon. Don't start him. Even if he has a great week, what's the upside? Or like, what's the downside?
Yeah,
What's the upside compared to the downside for starting him? Wow, he goes out, he scores 2 touchdowns, he gets you 15, 20 points, or
yeah.
he throws 4 picks and gets you like negative points. So I wouldn't start him. I'd stay away from him. Rams, Aaron Donald's gonna be all over him. You predicted 2 sacks.
Hmm.
I think Marcus Peters might take one to the house this week.
Yeah,
He might.
Marcus Peters.
Or yeah, Marcus Peters or
Yeah,
Jalen Ramsey.
there you
My
go.
bad. They flopped. They flipped. But yeah, I think Ramsey's gonna take one to the house this week. And I'll be super pissed if Marcus Peters takes one to the house.
Yeah.
They play the Steelers, so
Uh yeah, I like I said earlier, I don't think Tua will have a super good game. Uh yeah, I can see Jalen Ramsey taking one to the house. It's gonna be a rough day for that Dolphins offense. Like I said, Tua's gonna go through growing pains. This is his first start. Um, I mean, time will tell. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But I agree with Holzer here. I don't think you should start Tua. He's a bench quarterback as of right now, in my opinion.
I agree. All right, John. Who do you think is the last sit-em for you?
Mark Ingram.
Yep.
There's not much to say. Mark Ingram has not been good this year. Even J.K. Dobbins hasn't been that good this year. I mean, granted, he is a rookie, but the Ravens aren't getting much done on the ground, and they're going against the Steelers. I mean, I don't have to say much here.
Spillane's gonna have 8 tackles this week.
Who?
Spillane. Did you not see that hit on Derrick Henry on the goal
I
line?
did. Yeah, I did, but
He's actually been a kind of an animal since Devin Bush got hurt.
yeah,
Dude,
I
he's literally Ray Lewis. I'm not even kidding.
that front
No, I'm
seven
just kidding.
man is scary. I mean, there's not a better front seven in football. And honestly, I mean, I've always hated on the Steelers because just to rag on you because you're a fan, but I really, 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 really like the Steelers defense this year. And the Ravens, I mean, I even picked out the whole Lamar Jackson to like under 50 rushing
Yeah,
yards.
yeah, 100%. I agree that.
Yeah,
Agree with that.
yeah, so don't
John,
start Mark Ingram.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Spillane was Ray Lewis. I meant Brian Urlacher. Sorry, I got my greats mixed up.
I think he's Brian Urlacher, really?
I mean, he's white and he's good. Hopefully, he gets 8 tackles this week, stops the run. So,
Okay. All right.
hoping. Dude, he literally broke his shoulder last week because he tackled Derrick Henry so bad.
Broke his shoulder?
No, no, but he was hurt. His shoulder was hurt. He went back in, but he hurt his shoulder. Because it was a straight pop. He went through third down, just smacked him. They bang pads. Looked
Who's
like it hurt.
who's the guy that laid out Tannehill on the QB scramble? You saw that hit
I
though.
saw it.
Damn, dude.
I'm gonna look it up right now because I know exactly who it is. I just
That defense, I mean, I wasn't alive. I was born in 2001, but that Steelers defense is reminiscent of the Steel Curtain, the heyday of the Steelers defense in the 1970s when they had Joe Green, they had Jack Lambert, they had Jack Ham, they had
say Mel
I,
Blunt.
Mel Blount in the
It was
second.
Vince Williams. Of course it was. Hard hitting middle linebacker, stops the run very well. Is him.
It's got to be a great, great, great day to be a Steelers fan. It's got to be a great year to be a Steelers fan. Just that defense, man. Holy crap. I'm so impressed with it. I can't I mean, they held the Titans to 24 points. I mean, they just
Held Derrick Henry to 75 on the ground.
yeah, man. I mean, that's rare. You don't do that to Derrick Henry, to King Henry. I mean, damn, that defensive line is just scary, man. And
I agree.
they have so much depth, like you're saying,
Mhm.
even at linebacker. Even without Devin Bush, they're just
Yeah, without Devin Bush, they had Brian Urlacher in the middle. So
and they play hard-nosed football,
yeah,
man. They just
they're not scared.
no, man,
They
and I
play
love
they
that.
play aggressive, and they're not afraid to make some enemies.
Yeah. Did you saw that the Steelers are the most hated team in football right now
Yep, because we're fucking good.
because they're undefeated, man.
We're good for the first time in a while.
The undefeated team is always hated. You saw the Steelers or the Patriots when they were
Well,
when
I
that.
hate the Patriots just because they've owned the Steelers, but
I hate the Patriots just because they're the Patriots.
I
Just
agree.
don't they cheat.
John, I agree with you 100%. Steelers are awesome, but my last sit-em is Justin Jackson. I don't think he's gonna have a great week. I think that the Chargers are gonna just clobber them, the Broncos, through the air. I think Justin Jackson's gonna have a fair week. He's not gonna get in the end zone. He's gonna have 12 for 47 and 3 for 13, 3 catches for 13 yards, but
Mm,
no touchdowns.
yeah.
I
Man,
think the Broncos are pretty sound, not sound, but they're a okay run defense, but they're gonna get torched through the air.
I I agree with you, and I hate saying that because I have Justin Jackson on my fantasy team, and I have to start him this week at my second running back position because Miles Sanders is out. And yeah, I just don't think he'll do much against the Broncos defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I not much else to say about that. Uh, yeah, I mean, you said what? How many? 47 rushing yards.
And then 13 receiving yards and three
I
catches.
think Joshua Kelly. Um, I think. I mean, Justin Jackson. I think he's better at receiving the ball than Joshua Kelly, but I think Joshua Kelly is a slightly better running back.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. I don't know, but I agree with you here. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, John. Overall, have anything else to say about the pod this week?
All I gotta say, guys, is keep tuning in. Um, the episodes where I mean we're kind of formulaic at this point, but we're trying to mix things up for you guys. Trying to get new ideas. Don't be afraid to give us new ideas.
Leave them in the comments for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, when basketball season starts up in December, expect NBA videos, guys. No
Well,
doubt. Hmm. I mean, who knows? Holes maybe we'll even do fantasy for NBA.
yeah, we will for sure. We're going to be doing fantasy for basketball.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, like Holzer said, we're in a 14-man PPR league. If you guys want updates on that, and then we'll definitely throw that your way. We'll give standings. We'll give even standings predictions for the end of the year. Um, Anything you guys want, just mention it in the comments, and we'll make it.
John, last point before you say, if my team makes the playoffs, I'm taking this home. I'm taking it home.
Why do you say that?
My team is just built for the playoffs, John. Team is built for the playoffs.
What are you talking about?
My fantasy team, bro, we're built for the playoffs.
I
I have a
I
bunch of people that are going to be playing at the end of the year.
well, Holes.
If I get into the playoffs, I'm winning it. That's all
Aren't
I
you
got to say.
aren't you in my division or my conference?
I am.
Yeah. Well, hold up. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta look at Holzer's team real quick. See if because honestly, I feel like you're capping. Okay, you have Mahomes, you have Mike Davis, but you're gonna have to sit him.
He's gone.
You're gonna have to cut him. Yeah, after CMC comes back, you have Daryl Henderson. All right, you have DK Metcalf. You have Amari Cooper, Jared Cook, Sean Higgins.
No, Rashad Higgins.
Rashad Higgins, sorry. You have Chris Carson.
Chris Godwin, Chris Carson, they can't play this week. I got my boy Cole Beasley. I don't know who to start this week. I'm going Higgins or Beasley, one of the two.
Mm, honestly, this is a bold prediction, but I don't think Amari Cooper will be on the Cowboys at
I
the end.
hope he's not on the Cowboys, dude. Oh my god, I hope he gets traded to Green Bay.
That's
Dude,
where I think he's gonna go
if he
to.
gets traded to Green Bay, oh my god, dude, he's gonna blow up with Aaron Rodgers, bro. He's gonna have a god year, dude. I hope get him out of Dallas, dude.
They need the. I feel like that's like if the Packers are gonna make a Super Bowl run, I feel like they need Amari. You know, like I don't know, trade like a second and a third maybe for him. I think.
Get him, bro. He's under contract for a while. Now is the time.
I mean, Cowboys are rebuilding. You can't deny that. You just.
You
I
got
mean,
CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. You're
yeah,
good at receiver. You don't need that Amari Cooper. You get to clear some cap. So I think it's a good move. Plus, he gets to go play for Aaron Rodgers instead of
exactly.
Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, I'm not saying Amari is a bad receiver, but I feel like he just needs Dak to be elite. That's just
I mean,
me.
he can't have Ben DiNucci throwing him the ball.
I mean, he'd be better off with Andy Dalton. I mean, he'd still be really good with Andy
He
Dalton.
had a good week last week.
Yeah, yeah, he didn't do bad. But yeah, I think the Packers need to make that move. I agree with you.
I would love if they made that move, bro. Love it. All right,
Yeah.
John. Overall, it's been a great pod. Don't forget to tune in next week. Next Wednesday, we'll have another episode up. We are grinding. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, like the video if you did like it, and tell your friends. Honestly, tell your friends, tell everyone that you know. Hit the sub button, guys. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
See you guys.